Hi, Greg Hudson from JasperSoft Technical Support here to present information on running JasperReports samples in Studio. I'm discussing this to show how quickly and easily it is to see how to get these great examples running that are shipped with the JasperReports library. The samples can be helpful early in your learning curve, and they can also be helpful later on when you're exploring more complex and interesting scenarios. So in the community for JasperReports Library, you want to browse the samples. While reviewing them, find something meaningful to you. There are report design samples on things like crosstabs, styles, subreports, hyperlinks. There's components like table components, data-specific or data source specific samples like JSON, Excel, etc., and even report export specific samples. So browse the samples. Maybe I mentioned grouping. Let's start with the data grouping example. This example discusses the group element, group attributes, report variables, and it tells us the actual file name of the JSperXML example. Then it goes into the nuances of the actual JSperXML elements and tags that help provide the functionality. But you want to go ahead and be able to run this, export it, look and see and experiment on your own. So instead of referring at the bottom to the running the sample, this section only applies primarily to JasperReports library distributions. You have Studio, so you can skip this and take an easier path. We'll want to use the samples Jasper directory to find that first Jasper .JSperXML. So let's jump into Studio. In Studio, you want to add the samples project. Do File, New, Project, Jasper Studio, and choose the samples project and hit Next. I've already done this. In the left-hand side, you have a JasperReports samples project now. So in this project, let's find that example that I was looking at a moment ago. In the Jasper directory is my first Jasper JSperXML. So we'll jump into this. All of the majority of the samples that are shipped with JasperReports server are going to be using the sample DB. The sample DB is shipped, as you know, with Studio. So hit preview. You already see the sample DB is associated with this guy. We'll populate some parameters as needed. In this case, this one does require an image, otherwise it prompts you with an error. We can choose pretty much any image, and then let's run it. And in 5 seconds or so, my report should be filled, and you can see your output. Then you feel free to explore with the data, variables, pretty much anything you want to do to learn more about creating a design and layout like this one. As I said, most samples use the sample DB, but not all. For example, the CSV data source, per its name, is CSV based. So this JSperXML report, you need to make sure that the data adapter is pointing to a data adapter that's actually located in your system. You also want to make sure that the data source is correctly pointing to the right file, and that's because the original source for the JasperReports library might be a different OS than what you're using. So just go through your data adapter settings for the actual data adapter itself, as well as the CSV report, and make sure your setting for the data adapter is correct, and then preview this guy. And there might be parameters on some of these and some there aren't, and again, here you are. So that's running samples in Studio. Thanks for watching this demo, and happy reporting.